episode of Oregon Life.
Thanks for
Right?
watching this episode
of Oregon Life.
Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, producer of Oregon Life, and welcome to a brand new episode. I'm very excited about this. I got to spend 6 months with a triathlete, Miranda Bush. She's a triathlete, she's an endurance coach, she's an author, and I got to sit down with her and have some in-depth talks about what it's like to be a triathlete, and it's not easy. One thing I really want to say about Miranda is that, and everyone has this, it doesn't matter what you think you have, but you have it, and it's the ability to change lives, and that's what Miranda is doing. And I am so honored to bring you this episode of the triathlete, Miranda Bush.
The way that I approach running in a half Ironman or an Ironman is to run well when I feel good and hold on for dear life when I don't. So it's all about staying connected to my body and then not giving excuses when it gets hard. It's all saying like, I can do hard things. Reminding myself I do this because it's hard. If it were easy, it wouldn't really do much for me. So if you can pick it up in the last couple miles, that's pretty awesome. I had that experience at my last half marathon where I ran like one of my fastest 5Ks in the last 4 miles of the race, which I was running with a guy that I met he's a cross-country girls cross-country coach, like low 60s, and he was clearly a good runner. We became Facebook friends. He ran at Michigan State when he was younger, and he hung with me that whole race, had my fastest half marathon ever, completely unexpected. And a lot of it was because he just kept on challenging me. We talked the entire time. It was so fun. So I was not a runner growing up at all. I played ball sports, but when I went and watched Ironman Wisconsin in 2006 with my really little kids standing out in the rain in ponchos and umbrellas, I just decided that's what I wanted to do. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 3 kids under 3, and I think I needed something that was for me. And I never swam a lap, didn't even own a bike that I could use for a triathlon, and had not run more than a couple miles maybe at a time. Crazy to me when I think about where I started. My love to run and love of triathlon really has been an evolution that has kind of followed my own maturity and growth as a person. So I started this process because I wanted to lose baby weight, like many people did, and I kind of wanted something that would jumpstart that. Really quickly getting into it, I started to want to do it because I loved the challenge. I love showing up to group rides. I rode with a bunch of men who are my age now. At the time I wasn't even 30, and now I'm in my mid-40s, and so I really love the challenge of showing up, seeing if I could hang on with them and getting done and just feeling exhausted. Another reason is for the camaraderie. I mean, it's a big reason. It really was my social life when my kids were little, so I got to take care of my body at the same time as being with other people who had a passion and a love for something. And I think as a young mom, I had my kids really young, and so I really needed something that was mine and something that I could do. And then as the years have gone by, I've just really been aware of all the lessons that this has taught me, and all the ways that by challenging myself or setting different goals or being present with other people, I've really had the opportunity to take care of my mental health and see how my body and my mind and my emotional maturity has kind of evolved alongside of it. And that's just been such a huge gift and something that I've now get to share with a team and with people that share the passion and intensity and love of challenging themselves. And there's nothing cooler than being with a bunch of people who really thrive off of setting a goal and achieving it together. And so that community is just another reason that I just really stick around. And a big part, all of those reasons, is really why I became a coach. I started coaching because I wanted other people to have those same lessons and to learn those same things and get those same benefits. I worked as a personal trainer. I actually owned a local gym here in town for a period of time, and I was finding a lot of people were coming to me and telling me that they really wanted, a lot of women especially were saying, I want to lose weight so I can be happy. And even though I was really young and pretty immature, I really kept thinking, there's more to life than that. And I want you to be happy now. And what about you is making you unhappy? So I really started digging into the more mental side of training and why people thought certain things about their body. And then over time, I really wanted to help them learn how to use their body and get excited about their bodies in a way that had nothing to do with how they looked. It was really more about what your body can do. And so I wanted to become a coach so that I could really be present with them and have the skill set to actually take that from personal training and then use both. So now I still strength coach and I coach people all over the country because I really like to connect with people in different races. I coach women and men, and my job is a dream. It's just something I get to live out my passion every day. I get to enjoy getting to see people reach their goals, and I get to help them learn some of the same lessons that I've learned, either through modeling it still through racing or through teaching them through some of the resources that I have.
Hello, my name is Tom Day. I'm an adult onset triathlete who I am coached by Miranda Bush and MB Coaching. I first found Miranda back in 2016 when I ran my first triathlon and figured out that I needed a coach. So I started running when I was 13, so I've been running for almost 50 years now. And during that process, I run marathons, half marathons, pretty much all distance of races. And I started doing duathlons, which is bike, run, bike, in my 40s. And I really wasn't interested in the triathlon until my children ran the Oregon Kids Triathlon every year for several years. So I started looking into that, and my first triathlon was in 2016. I did it all myself. And quite frankly, it was a problem. So that's where I found Miranda. She coached me for several years. And then one year I did not have Miranda as a coach. And it was a year that I thought I knew what I was doing, training for these distance triathlons, and I ended up getting hurt. So that's one aspect of not only having a coach, but having specifically Miranda as a coach, is that we work through not only the mental aspects of what happens when you get hurt, if you get hurt, but we try to prevent that with a lot of different aspects of training. This year, especially strength training. She is a big advocate on strength training, and it has really, I feel better than I did 5 years ago when I trained for my first Ironman. And Miranda is not only a very, very good coach, she is a wonderful person. And the combination of those two is something that you don't find a lot in people. I just had to pick the one thing besides the actual training. Again, I started swimming in 2016 when I ran my first triathlon. She gave me some tips on that. I have another person who coaches me on the swim. But besides the actual physical aspects of triathlon training, especially for Ironman 70.3 and the Ironman itself is training is a process. I learned that in 2018 when I ran my first Ironman under Miranda's coaching, and she taught us that training is a process. The race is a great day, but you have 10, 12 months of building yourself up and learning about your body and learning about recovery. And with me being an older athlete, knowing that as we age, we take longer to recover. So she has been an amazing person to get me where I want to be as a triathlete.
Hi, so a couple weeks ago we had our annual triathlon clinic that we do for free as a service to the community from our team and from my coaching business. We had 92 kids this year, which was a massive record turnout for us, and it's awesome because our whole point of doing it is to have the kids be ready. We have them do the entire course. We tell them all about triathlon. And we do that so that they can have fun and really know what they're getting into, and so that we can share our passion and love for the sport. Today I'm here cheering on all the athletes and all those kids that we saw, and then the ones we don't know, all the kids of our team members. We still have many of them, even though my kids don't participate anymore. They're a little too old. But I also have lots of nieces and nephews who have come along to take on the race and enjoy it, and we just love this and cheer for everybody. I know for me, doing Ironman really opened my eyes to possibilities. And so I didn't feel like I had to forever be a runner, forever be a triathlete. I could become a mountain climber if I wanted to. I could keep evolving and being on a path that could be whoever I needed to be at that time. And I know as a woman, it's really hard to even fathom as a young mom. How was I able to do Ironman and train for Ironman as a young mom? A big part of that was I had an amazing supportive family, including my husband, who really has been a champion of me doing things that allow me to live my life while being a mom. And I'm very, very, very blessed for that. But also, I have always been a champion for other women. And so when people would come to the gym and women would say, oh, it's selfish to take the time to exercise, I would help convince them that it is actually, makes you a better mom. So you become a better mom by taking a little time for yourself, or a lot of time, whatever you need. Again, showing up as the person that you need to be, so then you can be more present for your kids, more present for your family, more present in the things that need to be done. And so there are so many challenges for women. I mean, women do, I can't remember the statistics exactly, but the majority of the third shift work, we call it, or the work at home after they go to work. So women who work full time still do most of the jobs at home, still do most of the child rearing. And so it's really hard to think about time to find training. But I think that you really, if it's the path that you need to be on, you can kind of do 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. And then as you can increase, or you can speak up for yourself and say, this is what I need. You can ask for help. And I just think that the more that we support each other, the better that we will all be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And when we're all showing up to our own authentic selves, then that allows us all to kind of help each other in ways that really benefits each other, benefits us as individuals, and then benefits humanity.
Hi, my name is Jane. I have been a triathlete for only 2 years. I started having Miranda as a coach probably 10 plus years ago. And at that particular time, I was running, and then I started biking and going into duathlons because I couldn't swim. So 2.5 years ago, I finally learned how to swim at the age of 69. And I did my first triathlon 2 years ago as well. I've since done 4 more. I have another one scheduled for the end of this month. Miranda has been awesome. I'm her oldest athlete, and she really works with me. I mean, she pushes me. She doesn't consider me old, and she knows my abilities, and she keeps working with me. She knows I can do better. She knows I can get faster. She doesn't look at me, like I said, like I'm an old person. She's just been so encouraging. There's never a negative thing coming out of her mouth. You know, she always says, you know, we can all do hard things, and we can. My friends are amazed, the ones that are my age and not running, biking, or swimming. I'm very proud of what I've done. If 10 years ago, if you told me that I was going to swim and then I was going to be a triathlete, I would have said, you are crazy. And Miranda, I want to say, did not push me. This was just something in my head that I wanted to challenge myself because I love a challenge. And I did it. And it was just, I think the first triathlon I did was in the Kenosha area. And she was tracking me when I was in the water, whatever, and her kids told me how she was excited when I got out of the water. She was excited when I got off the bike. When I came back to the area, I had this whole group of people greet me, and it was just awesome. And Miranda is just one of the best, because I've had another coach, but I would say Miranda is one of the best coaches out there because she truly cares about you. She cares about your goals. She encourages you. She wants you to succeed. She wants you to have joy when you're doing it. And one of the things she always says is when you're out there in a race, just keep on smiling because it helps it. So.
Hi, I'm Miranda. Whew. And I just got done with my half Ironman in Madison a couple weeks ago. It was another unique experience. It was number 22 for me for half Ironman competitions, and it's amazing how every time I do it, I still learn so much about myself, about the experiences, about what I want to put into it, about what I want to take from it. And this one gave me a lot of opportunities to learn. I missed my goal time by a little bit, which happens. And I realized the thing that I learned the most this time was really kind of about what I preach to people and share and in my coaching, is that I really want to be able to be present in what I'm doing and not rush through it, not kind of wait for it to be over, not just go through life kind of checking boxes. And that's what I had been doing for so long in my life. And I was under a tremendous amount of stress leading up to the race, from just life stuff, life changes. And when I got to the race, I realized about halfway in that I didn't really feel like doing something super hard that day. And life had been kind of hard enough. And I had to refocus about halfway through and think, what do I really want to get out of this? And I decided I needed to stop wanting it to be over, stop wanting it to be done. And I needed to really just put myself in that moment and show up to what I could. I thought I was prepared to do that, but I think the stress of life had just wore me down a bit. And so the rest of the race was a great experience. I kept returning to it. I got done. I felt a little disappointed in what my body could give me that day, But in the end, I was really happy with my finish and how I persevered. And yeah, it was just another great day out on the race course for that reason, because I always just try to learn something from it, something I can take from it, something I can put back into it. So in the end, although I didn't get the time that I wanted, it was still a really great day. So after I do Arizona, I need to start to think about my 2024 plan. I've been thinking about my 2024 plan a lot, and I'm really leaning toward racing an Ironman, which I have never done. I've done an Ironman. I've done Ironman Wisconsin 3 times. I've done St. George once. I went to St. George for a different experience, to challenge myself in a different way, which I definitely got it. But I'm thinking about racing Ironman Wisconsin, which is a very scary, uncomfortable goal for me. It means a lot of alone training, a lot of grit, a lot of work on my swim, a lot of strength training, which that part's pretty easy, but the rest of it, it'll be a challenge. I'm also waiting to see some other races that are going to be announced and where they'll be, so I can see if I get the opportunity to travel next year to race. I want to see where the Half Ironman World Championship will be in 2025. I'm not going to go to New Zealand for 2024, so I'm not going to take that opportunity. But so I have some things floating around, but I'm really leaning toward racing Ironman Wisconsin. Thanks for watching this episode of Oregon Life. I've got to get back to training.
Watching this episode of Oregon Life.
Thanks for
Right?
watching this
Episode of Oregon Life.